What is good, guys, man? Thank y'all for tuning back into the channel, man. If you're new, make sure you hit that sub button down below to be notified for every single video that I drop, man. If y'all can see by the title, man, it says no more spiritual warfare, her testimony, man. We gonna jump right into the video. I want y'all to comment down below exactly what y'all think. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, you know what I'm saying. And let's go ahead and get into the video, man. Let's hear her testimony.
You know, so often I feel like we can look at people that we admire and wonder how they got.
First of all, baby, you so beautiful. Reach out to your boy.
To where that they are. And so this is just as much as I can call into remembrance of how I got to where I am right now. So my story begins where, I was born on April 21st. I was born in 94. And I grew up in church all of my life, actually. And a lot of people don't know this, but my dad is actually a pastor. So growing up, I have always been in church and I've always believed in God and everything. And throughout different things in life that I have endured, things began to change for me. I've always known that I've been a different person. I've always been very talkative, always been very friendly, but I never imagined myself getting into ministry now, if I'm really going to be honest with you. And so my story is just a God thing, because I now can look back in hindsight and realize that every single thing that I went through has molded me and shaped me to where I am right now. So things started to get a little different for me, I would say, around the time when I was 21 years old. Up until then, I guess from what I can remember, I was pretty much kind of cruising through life. I had some friendships that were a little but for the most part, it wasn't anything too alarming. And so I was in a relationship with someone that lived fairly far from me when I was 21. And long story short, because that's another, story for another day, but that relationship ended and I felt so heartbroken. And the reason that I pursued a relationship with that person is because I was under the impression that that person was a Christian. And so when I got with him and the relationship ended, it really felt like it broke me. And I remember distinctly crying over this for about 3 days. And for some reason, I just said, okay, I'm just going to rely on God. I'm just going to really focus on, my relationship with him. And it really started to help me, because despite growing up in church all my life, I decided to pursue God for myself. Amen. I decided to discover who God was for me. And so I started to listen to Christian music, all these different things. I started paying attention in church. I started taking notes, all these different things. And around 2018 is when I graduated college. And I was kind of stuck at a crossroads of, okay, should I go back to school and major in law and minor in psychology, because school has always been something that I've enjoyed because I love the routine of things. And instead, I decided to, give my career another shot, because I felt like there was a voice. I didn't know it was God, but he was telling me to give my career a shot. And so an opportunity came where I had a channel with one of my friends, still one of my close friends to this day. And for some reason, I just felt a little unfulfilled, because I've just always had this craving to express all of my personality. And I felt like, if I were to do beauty, that doesn't really express all my personality. at least at that time. And if I did like more skits and acting or commentary, then that would allow me to express all of that. So we did that for a while, but it just didn't really feel like a good fit for me. And honestly, for no reason. We went to LA, we met all these people, and I came back and I was extremely depressed. And I have no idea why, but I was just so depressed. And I just felt like, you know, everything was on the rocks. Even my relationship with my parents was on the rocks.
I'm sorry, but I'm stuck on how beautiful she is while she's commenting. But let's take a little break, man. Like, can y'all please go follow my Instagram? I am so sorry, but I love her testimony. Is it even going in? It's Shawn 91 _. Listen, man, I love everything that she's talking about so far. Let's continue, man. I apologize. I know some of y'all gonna try to roast me in the comments, but let's continue, man.
We just weren't really seeing eye to eye. It just felt like life was very unfair to me. It felt like I all of a sudden always was this, you know, I was always a decisive person, and all of a sudden I felt indecisive. And that was so uncomfortable for me because I had a mind of, okay, I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to pursue just that. I had no idea all that was in store for me. You know, 2018, by the end of 2018, literally the last month, I created a new channel where I then started to talk about dating. That channel was actually inspired by a relationship that I was in. And as well as a mixture of, you know, being classy and talking about sophistication, femininity, that whole thing. And so I knew, based on my dating experience, that was something that I really wanted to talk about, because I felt like I was so young and I didn't want anyone going through what I went through. I was used to, I like you like me, oh, okay, let's start dating. But what I learned from that relationship when I was 21 was that I was fooled at the time, and my ex, he kind of dragged his feet in getting with me and basically convinced me that that's not how the real life works. You don't just get with someone because you don't become boyfriend and girlfriend with someone just because you like them. And so I guess that's where the seed started to plant of where I thought, okay, maybe this is not how it goes. So I wanted to teach women, like, okay, like, basically not how to not get played was my number one strategy. How to have boundaries in things also was another strong point that I loved to drive home, because that's what I knew. I knew, okay, I don't want things like this to happen to other women, and I also don't want to ever go through something like that again. So I need to get ahead of everything. And so throughout that process, that really was shaping and molding my ideologies around relationships. And I also placed a lot of emphasis on men being providers, which is still something that I do believe in to this day because it is biblical. However, my entire mindset began to shift.
Yes, man. I'm heavy on being a provider, man. I'm gonna say this right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a provider, but I'm not the provider that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? But it's coming. It's getting there. You know, no matter, you know, what kind of situation I have, you know, with my child's mom, I still want to make sure that she would have everything she would need on her side if she's struggling, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I'm heavy on being a provider, man. Heavy on that, man. You know.
So my channel took off so fast, and it felt like home to me. I knew immediately, like, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to help women. I can finally offer value on the internet. I can make an impact on the internet. And it felt like it was amazing for me. And then shortly after that, you know, things began to change for me, where I started to experience what I now know and I did not know was a lot of spiritual warfare. There was a lot of uncomfortability that I experienced being on YouTube, and I wasn't necessarily ready for the hate that would come from being on the internet, or the hate that would come from people being just really intimidated by your light. And the reason that I was just so shocked by it is because I have had the same friends all my life. I'm a very friendly person. I have always been an outgoing person. And so,
you know, everything that she talking about, man, it's me and her are kind of similar, man, because it be the nice ones, it be the genuine hearts, the ones that get treated bad but still is able to treat somebody nice even when they've been treated bad. It's those ones, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do not like your light. You know, a lot of people don't like how kind you are. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna speak more on it at the end of the video. Let's continue to her testimony, man.
For me to feel like, okay, I don't understand why I'm being attacked, or I don't understand, why, people could feel a certain way about something. It was really difficult. And so when you're on the internet, right, you're in a space where it's kind of your job to be liked, right? Like, you feel like, okay, if people aren't liking what I'm doing, then that means I have to stop. And so it was really painful going through that. And it lasted for a long time. It lasted for years, actually, where I just felt like, what's the point of this? Like, this is something that I thought was such a blessing for me, and it started to change the way I showed up on the internet. I began to not really want to show my face. I began to feel like maybe I should just do something else, because I feel like it's just too much that I'm handling, being in this space, and I don't understand where it's coming from, because I didn't do anything to anyone. So I don't understand why this is happening. And it's really isolating and lonely, because people will look at you and they'll think, well, isn't this what you signed up for? This is the internet. But it just was definitely a targeted attack. And I know now in hindsight that it was definitely an attack of the enemy to derail me from my purpose of actually still showing up in this space.
Amen. This is how I feel. She just like she she took the words out of my mouth, man. Anytime, like, I've been confused like these past few months, man. I've really been getting attacked spiritually, man. By family members, man. You know what I'm saying? And just overall what I've been through in the past 4 to 5 years, I've been getting attacked. And I always said that I know exactly why I'm here and what I'm supposed to do. But especially when I'm really getting to the point where I really want to do what I'm supposed to do, where I really feel like I'm supposed to do something, always trying to mess that up, man. And I've seen myself getting out of character, man, with certain people I shouldn't be getting out of character with, And one thing I learned in these past few months, man, and 4 years is, the people that you love, they probably don't love you the same, family or not. You're gonna have to cut them off, man, because they can stunt your growth. They can stop your growth. You know what I'm saying? And you could be missing out on your purpose, because you're sitting over here getting out of your character, hollering at these people, cursing them out, you know what I'm saying, telling them to leave you alone, this and that. You don't understand why you've been attacked. You've done nothing to nobody. You have a good heart. But for some reason, they want to bring you down. And, I never understood that.
Of social media, and that really being my ministry. So it wasn't until I began to pray and fast over what I was going through that everything for me literally stopped. It began to change, and I had peace for the first time in my life. I was able to not get a pit in my stomach when I uploaded. I was able to begin to find the right system of having a good team around me, and people that have been very instrumental in helping me generate, or create content on the internet. So throughout that, I also have learned so many lessons of, from betrayal to, what it's like to have, different types of friends in your life, relationships, romantic relationships, and who actually should be in my life, and how do I want to show up in those relationships. And I really began to really seek God more than ever, because I realized that was the only way that I was able to get some sort of peace in my mind. Is it felt like I had this hedge of protection over me when I would rely on God. And so one day after I fasted, I uploaded a TikTok, and I was like, I'm just going to upload mainly Christian content on TikTok. And that was like one of my videos had like 500,000 views, and that was the first one that I ever uploaded that had anything to do with God or anything. And then slowly but surely, God began to work on me and really confirm to me that ministry is something that I'm supposed to be doing on my channel. So I made the plunge, and I decided.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I feel exactly how she feel. I feel like God is calling me to ministry. I feel like God is calling me to encourage. I have so many spirit. I just have so many good thoughts of doing stuff for the community, for other people. You know what I'm saying? But I've been going in circles and circles, with situations that's been challenging for me. You know what I'm saying? And I said this go around, I'm breaking that cycle. I'm cutting off who I gotta cut off. I'm cutting off any bad habits that I have, because I don't want to miss out on my opportunity that God has for me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm in the right space right now to do that, man. Let's continue with her testimony though.
To change my content on how I show up on the internet, and it was difficult, because I realized that it was a lot of unfollowing that happened. And yet in the midst of all those things, I still had such a peace in the midst of the storm. I still felt like I was protected, and I am protected and covered under the blood of Jesus. No matter all the things that I went through, it made me so much stronger. And I wish, of course, I knew then what I know now. And I think a lot of the times, in true transparency, the enemy tries to convince me like, oh, if you would have known this sooner, then you could have gotten a lot farther, etc., etc. But I know that I'm exactly where it is that I'm supposed to be. I know that there are no mistakes. There's nothing that I could have done differently. And I'm happy and proud of how I showed up in that space. I went through a really tough time in 2022. I was in a relationship, and I just felt like that relationship was not the right relationship for me. And then literally a week later, my grandmother passed away, and it was deeply emotionally excavating. All the things that I was going through were really starting to take a toll on me. And I really knew, like, okay, like, God, I really am relying on you. This is so painful that it's almost comical what's happening to me. And I know that God uses he uses our mess, and he turns it into, a masterpiece. He tests us with certain things in order to turn it into our testimony. And I know that there will be multiple versions of of my testimony that I will share, because new things will come into my remembrance again. However, I know that God began to really start to clean up my life. He started to circumcise my heart. He turned my stony heart into flesh, and he really started to reveal to me that I am confirmed on the right track, and that it is through prayer and fasting that I'm going to be able to get to where I want to get to. I've endured so much, as I'm sure many people have, and I think that it's easy for people to just simply look at where you are, or they see you show up.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna finish this whole video. Hold on, let me see.
For believing in me. I want to thank you for following this channel.
I'm gonna put her link down below in the description, guys. And if I forget, remind me, comment, put her link in the description. I want y'all to find her. I just want to say she has a nice house. She's very beautiful. Everything that she talked about, I am currently going through. I will get through. I wake up 3 o'clock every morning praying I mean, it just felt like something is calling my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shawn, you got this. Like, when you just feel something heavy on your heart and you know that God is calling you to something, you need to pray about it. I never fasted one day in my life, and I need to start fasting. I've been praying a lot more. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, new things will pop up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes God put you in situations that, and then later on, that's your testimony. And I just did a testimony video. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, the link down below to my other channel, my vlog channel, is in the description, man. I really feel like I am called to be in some type of ministry. I don't know what it is, but I need to let go of stuff that truly does not fit my calling. You know what I'm saying? And I was reading the Bible last night, man. What was that? Was I in Mark? And it was the part where God was in the boat with the disciples, and he was asleep, and the disciples were scared, and sometimes I sit up at night and I think about so much, like, what if this go wrong? What if this go wrong? What if this go wrong? And I feel like God just woke me up in the middle of the night, and I read that scripture, and it said, why are you so scared? Why do you have little faith? And they're like, yo, stop doubting God, man, and have faith in your situation and know he'll take care of it. Because when we try to figure out things on our own, when we try to fight these spiritual battles on our own, you know what I'm saying? The battle is not against flesh. The battle is against principalities. I don't know but I know it's a spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a spiritual battle, and we gotta lean on God when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely loved her story. She's a very beautiful woman. I pray for a woman like her. You know what I'm saying? And just a true woman of God. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, man, rushing into a relationship, bro, you really, really, really want to be equally yoked with that person. So that's why it hasn't been no rush for me. I want what's truly meant for me. I want what's truly meant. I want the woman that's truly meant to be around my child. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind going on dates and stuff like that, but I take this dating stuff seriously. Especially with God in it, man. But if y'all enjoy her story, man, comment down below what y'all think about this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm putting her link down below in the description. If I forget, comment down below. Say you forgot the link, and I'll put her link down below in the description, man. And listen, man, at the end of my video, so I always say stay inspired, stay motivated, stay grinding. Till next video, I'm out of here. Peace.